Hi, I'm David and welcome to the Retro Builder channel. This channel was created as I have a huge love for all things DIY, and with my home just recently turning 60 years old, I thought it would be great to start sharing some of the jobs that I get up to in and around my home. So sit back, get yourself a cup of tea and enjoy what we have in store for you this episode. Hi everyone, I'm David aka Retro Builder and welcome to my very first video on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be looking to do some modifications to the rear of my garden, which I'm going to give you a little bit of a walk around now and just show you what I'm planning to do. So welcome to the back of my garden. Now we have a 10-metre span here that borders the farmer's field, but we've got this really strange gap. This gap where essentially this scrubland, which is unfarmed, it's just left for the wildlife, comes to a point, but every now and then we have cows in this field and the farmer doesn't know it, or maybe they do, but the cows get in round these bushes at the back. They come in here, sorry for that train. As I was saying, they get in here and they come all the way up to this point where they can't go anywhere and they can't turn around because it gets so small, and cows are obviously massive, and then they all have to back up. And bearing in mind there's probably a herd of, I reckon, 30 or 40. They're all here in some queue. It's dreadful. So I spoke to the farmer. He said basically, with this little patch here, do what you want. And that is the plan for today. So what is the plan exactly? Well, I went and picked up this gate off of Facebook Marketplace and I think I paid about £40 for it. Now what I'd like to do is square off that scrubland, so again if cows come down to it they've got enough space to turn around. In addition, my wife and I can pick up a footpath further up there and it just has a nicer finish than all of these brambles and things, and by taking this inner barbed wire perimeter out it'll allow us to mow and maintain this. In addition to that, if we take you along here and show you some of these posts, you can see, well actually they're all rotten. So the plan is to set 3 or maybe 2 new posts in to bear the outer perimeter barbed wire on, take the inner perimeter away and then set the gate in. So yeah, there's no time like the present. Let's clear up all of this sort of shrubbery and get it all clean for starting the job. Before most jobs, I take great pleasure in surveying and clearing the site. I think if you work in mess, the outcome will probably end up a mess. Removing every object from the back, I start to tackle the removal of the inner barbed wire perimeter. This involves detaching it from the end post. An angle grinder makes light work of bypassing the staples, and my impact driver helps unscrew the ironwork, patching the wire onto the post. Now the fence is no longer attached, I begin carefully dragging it out of the way. This enables me to start clearing the site further. Once cleared, I thought I would make a start on digging the first of a few post holes. This one to take a secondary longer post which will attach to the primary end post of my fence that I can bolt a gate onto. Okay, as you saw in those clips, I have now cleared the area and I've offered up the gate. And in addition to that, I've actually started digging out the gate post hole. I'm going to need one that end to bear the hinges off of, and then one that end to bear the latch off of. In addition, it'll double up as a fence post. If we just show you a little bit closer to where the hinges are going to go. So I'm not actually going to attach the gate to this post. This is the fence post, and admittedly it does have a really good lump of postcrete holding it in place. It's absolutely solid, but really I want to space the gate a little bit this way just to make up that gap there. So the plan is dig this hole out even further, and then I'll cut a little slice of the postcrete out and screw into that post with some 240mm coach bolts. So that will bind the 2 posts together. We'll put loads of postcrete this way because on any gate it wants to tilt like this, and if we've got loads of postcrete in that hole there, that will work against that tilt. I mean, the gate does obviously have a little guide wheel, which I may have to adjust to get the level perfectly bang on, but yeah, I think what I'll probably do is leave that for the moment. I'll continue working on the holes for these posts along here so we can get rid of these old rotten posts, and I'll show you just how bad they are. So we'll replace those with some nice 4-inch timber posts, and then we should be all good.
So I made a start at digging the post holes for the barbed wire fence at the back, but then decided maybe it's a better idea to carry on with the noisier work first, like the cutting and carving out of the original postcreted fence post to take my new post later on. This process involved lots of work with the large diameter masonry grinder that I own. To slice and dice before carefully using a hammer and bolster to chip away piece by piece the amount I require to make space for a post.
Okay, so a little update. I've gone ahead and I've managed to cut, which you would have saw in those clips, the concrete out of the end post of our fence, which means I can bear a new post that's ever so slightly higher to accept the hinges of the gate, and essentially a nice deep hole where I can put a load of postcrete down. And bearing in mind, as I mentioned earlier, when a gate is there, it's going to want to tilt this way, so that large hole full of postcrete should counteract that. And the idea now is to make some cuts, coach bolt the post together, and then fill this with postcrete. I figured if I get this post done first, it means first thing tomorrow I can mount the gate. So yeah, let's go ahead and sort that out now.
With the hole dug to depth and my height on the post determined, I took the post away to my chopping table to use my skill saw to take a chunk off of it. I could then drop the post in the hole and start to drill some holes through it. In turn, this marked the post behind, which enabled me to drill that one as well. The holes could be used to pass coach bolts through to brace both of the posts together. This was achieved with a nut, a large plate and an impact driver to ensure tightness. With the post bolted up, I thought it would be a good idea to offer up the gate to it and work out where the top hinge would sit. With that worked out, I could then go ahead and cut off the remainder of the bolts and fix the hinge to the post. With the top hinge now in place, I thought I would hang the gate and then work out the positioning of the bottom hinge. Then go ahead and mount it to the post. Now I could fit the gate to check everything and make any adjustments to the bottom hinge. With my adjustments made, I then filled the hole with water, ready to take some postcrete. Whilst I have a cement mixer, I find postcrete takes the faff out of setting posts in the ground, as you just pour bags into a hole full of water and mix it up to ensure a strong cure. Just keep repeating until the hole is filled.
Good morning, day 2. So let's give you a little bit of an update on what I achieved yesterday. Obviously all the clearing was done, which I'm really pleased about, and the gate has been mounted. It does kick up a little bit, so I'm going to have to adjust the bottom hinge, wind that right in so it's on maximum droop, and that should level it out nicely. I'm probably going to take off the little jockey wheel that sits down there. I just don't think it's required actually, and with the uneven ground, that jockey wheel is not sprung, so it's not very forgiving. If you try to swing the gate open, the ground kicks up and then it fouls on that. So what we're going to do this morning, or probably this morning early afternoon, so I need to set a post in there for the gate to bear against. I need to do a post there because if we go over, we will see this is completely rotten, and yeah, do a post here. The only reason I've just carefully placed something in there is because the cows were out in the field last night and I didn't want them charging into the barbed wire fence and not having any form of support. So I'll take all of that out. We've got a hole already, so we'll probably start by sticking a post in that one first because it's easiest. Okay, I've just noticed a horrendous problem. Obviously if you look at the gate at the moment, you think, yeah, it goes up there, we can adjust it. But if we come around here, and I don't believe this, and we look at this post, you probably can't see it on camera. The whole thing is leaning over. It's really lent quite a lot. So, oh no. Obviously, whilst my new post bears perfectly on the old one must have gone over, and I didn't think, oh, I'll check the level. I thought that would be all plumb, and I think maybe hanging the gate has just overemphasised that lean, where I've compromised the base before pouring in a new base. But that's not going to do. That's not going to work at all. Oh, do you know what I'm going to have to do? I think I'm going to have to rip all of this out again and start from fresh. Oh no, I really don't want to do that. But I think I have to. It has to be right. It cannot be leaning. It's hard to get it on camera, but yeah. Okay, here's how I can get it onto the camera. We stick that there. Look at that. Oh no. That needs to be about there. It's about 15 mil out, but it looks a lot worse than that to the human eye. Oh, David. Okay, knowing I've messed up, knowing I've sunk 4 bags of expensive postcrete into that hole, I just can't let this be the finish. It's just not good enough. I think what I need to do is take the gate off, take that post out, take this post out, and just sort it all out, get it all plumb and level. Obviously the fence has been leaning a little bit over time, and then hanging the gate on it has now made it worse. So yep, just going to have to rip it all off and start again.
So start again I shall. Off came the gate and the barbed wire temporarily placed against the post. Out came the nuts holding my coach bolts on, all 3 of them. Off came the post top, and then I peeled back the membrane and shingle I had placed over the post base. Even my cockerel was furious. I bashed out the coach bolts, then naively thought the post may just wiggle out, because would 14 hours of setting of postcrete really be that strong? Time for the big guns. I whipped out my Hilti breaker and hooked it up to its 110 volt power supply, where I then started to break up the concrete base, piece by piece by piece. Exposing the screws I put into the post for additional bracing into the postcrete, and then I undid them. The post started to show signs of weakness, but even with my wife's help, we couldn't wiggle it out of the ground just yet. After further braking, the post eventually gave up and I was able to lift it out from its concrete coffin.
Right, as you saw in those clips, I've managed to get both the new post and the old post out. And let's just have a little look. So this is the original post that held the fence up. And I'm actually impressed. You know, this is it's getting on for 6 years old. There's little to no rot. That is mainly where the jackhammer was hitting into it. But yeah, pretty happy with that. And the replacement post the new post for the gate has come out whole. And I can use that as a post there. So I haven't wasted anything apart from 4 bags of Postcrete and all of my time yesterday. So what we're going to do next, I think the plan, actually let me show you. So if we look at the fence, you get a bit more of an idea of what the lean was looking like. So the fence shoots off straight as anything, but this kicks out and we can see there is a rail here. Now this fence, you can't see it, it goes all the way over there, probably about 150 yards. It's completely rotten, all the posts have gone, but the rail won't budge. It won't move that way at all. So maybe that was just pushing on that post over time, and all of the weight multiplied by nearly 6 years, and it's just pushed that old post over. But the biggest lesson I've learned here is that I should have put a level on it both ways, but it's okay. With every issue comes an opportunity. So you can see how knackered I am, and I have pulled my back, but basically with the original hole I'm not going to put a 4-inch post in. I'm going to go for either a 6 or an 8-inch post and just have one post to bear the gate off of. So yeah, but I think first things first, I need to cut that rail back so I can actually push everything over and get it all plumb, and then I need to go and source a larger post. So let's go and do that. Hello, so a little update on where we are. I've gone ahead and had a good tidy of the area, basically raked back all of the rubble and whatnot. That's all been pretty much cleared from the site. I've got 2 posts in at the end of the garden, so yeah, really happy with that. And then what I've done is, you would have seen I took the old 4-inch posts out and I'm replacing it with this lovely piece of timber. It's 8 inches and it just looks right. You know, it's got a lovely sort of sawn off top there to let the water run off, and yeah, I think to bear the gate down on that is going to be fantastic. So yeah, I've obviously got to work at the hole a little bit, so I've just got to chip away a little bit at the hole so I can level the post and get that plumb against the panel, because at the moment the bottom needs to go that way, but there's a little bit of Postcrete just needs chipping away at. But yeah, I'm hoping to get that set in tonight. I won't make a mistake of hanging the gate on that until that's gone off, so I think earliest I'll be doing that is tomorrow. And then once the gate is on there, I can then put the final post in here, and that will make up the 3 posts at the end of this fence, and I think we'll call it a day. So let's get on with getting that set in now. Okay, same as before, let's get the hole nice and wet. I've actually put a little bit of Postcrete in the bottom so the post isn't sitting on the soil. And the way I see it is that if the bottom postcrete can go off underneath the post and it's sitting on concrete, I think eventually that soil will harden and the water should stop flowing. Add a little bit round the back. Make sure this is nicely mixed. As you can see, it's very dry, so we just have to keep adding more water, and then when it's too wet, add more postcrete, and eventually it will go nice and hard. But I do think the key is going to be allowing it the time that it needs before bearing anything off of it, like our gate. And if you're wondering, why is the hole not perfectly round? Well, just a reminder, most of the weight is going to be on this side, so really you want most of the base on this side. Good afternoon. So you've joined me quite a few weeks on actually, but I'm pleased to say the gate is hung and we've got some new posts holding our barbed wire. So yes, I am super chuffed with the finish. Hope you are too. Obviously it was a bit of a faff having to essentially do the job twice with regards to hanging the gate post, but I mean, I think you'll admit if I spin you around that finish is just so much better than what we had before with the two 4 inches. I think having an 8-inch, it's already got this lovely cut at the top. It just looks proper. It looks like how you would hang a gate. So yeah, and obviously if you look down the fence line, it looks all nice and plumb now. It's all nice and level. So really pleased. Let me just show you what I ended up doing with the lock, because obviously we've got quite a gap between here and here, but if I brought the post in, it wouldn't be as plumb along there. So I thought, no, I'll keep the post there, slightly higher than the other posts, but I've just put this basic sort of deadbolt in, but for additional security, well, I say security, anyone can come along and unclip this, but this just gives it a little bit more in case it's flapping in the wind and this was to work its way out. But you get the idea. So yeah, just got something that we can easily open and go off and pick the blackberries and whatnot. But yeah, let me know what you think. So I hope you've enjoyed me wrestling with these posts and the gate. Obviously I'm a complete novice at all of this. I'm just learning every day, every week, every month, every year that I live here. And yeah, but I'd love to know in the comments what you think of the finish of these bits and bobs. And yeah, maybe if you want to join me for another episode, I'm going to be thankfully working inside the house, not out, because it is getting cold. I'm going to be starting work on our central heating, because I recently scrapped my central heating boiler because it was about 40 years old and it started leaking. And I've gone ahead and bought a brand new Worcester boiler, so I'm going to start on the plumbing to get that plumbed in, and that's going to be a couple of episodes because there are a lot of moving parts with the change of configuration. But yeah, if you'd like to see that, obviously hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, is that still a thing? I don't know. And yeah, follow my journey as I continue to traverse this mahoosive project. But anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you made it this far, I'm very thankful, and I hope to see you in the next one. So yeah, until next time, see you soon. Bye.